Hi everyone, we are back with Playmaker Insights, our initiative aimed at uncovering interesting trends emerging from within the sports industry. Let's get into the trend for this particular week, and it deals with changing preferences for sports content consumption across different age groups of fans. And just to call out here, the source for this data is the Altman Solon report, their global sports survey that takes into account various different factors and explores different dimensions of either sports content consumption or different areas of fandom in sport, preferences of fans, behaviors, etc. And this particular trend really caught my attention when I was going through the report a couple of weeks ago. Let's take 10-15 seconds to maybe just consume what's there on the screen, and parallelly, I can start walking through my own observations about it. What we are seeing here is different age groups responding to what do they prefer in terms of the medium or the channel for sports consumption. Is it watching live games, either let's say on TV or connected TV, etc., or is it watching highlights or clips of some nature on other platforms like social media? And as an example, let's take age groups 18 to 24. 44% of all of these sports fans that are the youngest among the lot have preferred shorter clips or highlights as against live games, which still means that more than 50% do prefer watching live games. But if you look at the trend now across different age groups, it's a very, very telling curve where for 65% or 55 plus, only 27% of the fans have preferred watching non-live content over live content. And there is a very, very secular rise as we move to lower age groups, be it the 35 to 55 or then to 18 to 35. And maybe the emerging generation of fans that is now going to enter 18 to 24 in maybe the years to come will take this percentage even beyond 50%. So what does this mean really? Are younger fans moving away from live sports consumption? And 65% of the executives that are working in sport actually fear that live sport may be losing the same relevance that it used to have, say, a couple of decades ago. And in terms of the reasons why this is happening, based on the responses that these very fans have given, the top two reasons that they have stated are: I can watch whenever I want instead of me having to necessarily stick to the TV or to my device exactly during the time of the live match. So convenience and the freedom of choice of when do you want to watch the content seems to be an interesting preference that is emerging among this fan base. And secondly, I'm interested mainly in the results and not so much in the gameplay. I mean, that could be worrying. I'm personally not very convinced, but these are the reasons that have been stated as part of the survey. Why would this be? My sense on it is, firstly, if I compare my own childhood to where things are now, fans really have a lot of choice in terms of the type of content they can watch, the type of different interfaces on which they can watch this content. So you really have multiple different screens at your disposal. Whereas maybe 20 years ago, you only had that one TV screen in front of you, and that was your source of any content. So choice expanding by a lot. And obviously, an offshoot of that is very, very short attention spans. And it's not a trend that's very specific to sport, but in general, the movement to shorter video clips on social and the fact that you can't engage an audience for more than 30 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever the number is. But the idea is shorter attention spans is becoming a reality. So to expect someone to really stick around for 3 hours, 4 hours glued to the TV as maybe we would, maybe that's not so much of a reality today as it's emerging. And thirdly, while live content has moved from TV to say OTT, have we been really able to package it to the liking of this audience? Or is it the same formula that is being pasted on OTT, not really innovating in terms of how we can make that experience more watchable for the younger audience, making it rather familiar to the kind of content consumption that they're doing across different aspects of their life beyond just sports as well. The interesting ramifications of this could be in different forms. Firstly, what is the biggest what can you call it? The biggest area of focus when it comes to business of live sports consumption? Advertising. If live sport really starts to lose its charm, do brands now have to think differently in terms of allocating their budgets? Do you really still want to buy those slots for ads when it comes to live TV? Or do you rather focus on building better content IPs on social media? Secondly, what do OTT streaming platforms do now? What is the solution to this? I mean, this is a trend that's hitting us in the face. How do we face this? What kind of innovations can OTT streaming partners, that is going to be the future of consumption, and we've seen what's happening with Netflix, etc., getting into sports, live sports as well over the past year or so. So OTT streaming is going to be probably the primary source of consumption. What innovation can be done to really tackle this trend or try to reverse it to the extent possible? One example that comes to my mind that really marries the world of live sport and that of social media together is a concept like a watch party. Can you have an experience where you watch a live game along with multiple different people at different locations in a watch party? Does that give the best of both worlds to the fans? Are there ways to gamify the experience? Many of us would have experienced, say, the live polls that a JioCinema or a Hotstar usually has, where maybe there are predictive games, there are quiz games that are ongoing in the chat as you watch the game, as you watch the live match, and gamifying the experience, giving fans more things to do while they watch the live game on the side. Is that the way to maybe reverse this trend? Just some thoughts, but definitely a very pertinent insight for us to ponder over, and would be very interesting to get your thoughts on what you feel about this firstly, and what do you think could be more ways of innovating live broadcast of sport to make it more attractive, more exciting, engaging, especially for the younger fan base. Looking forward.